Another month means another episode of the Indie Radar, the series where we highlight some of the most interesting indie games set for release. October is stacked with titles both in the indie scene and in the AAA world, from beloved sequels to fresh new ideas. And don't worry, Silksong isn't on this list, and the Savage Beast Fly can't hurt you anymore. Oh man. So here are some indie games to put on your radar coming out this October. The first big release of the month drops on the 8th with Kingmakers, and its premise is absolutely wild. You're thrown onto massive medieval battlefields, but instead of a sword and shield, you're packing guns, trucks, and a full arsenal of modern-day tech to rewrite history however you want. The result is sprawling, chaotic clashes where you and 3 friends rain down absolute mayhem. Sure, it might feel a little unfair to roll over knights in plate armor with an assault rifle and a pickup truck, but think about this. It's really funny. Kingmakers is ultimately bound to be a bit of a mixed bag at launch, as the game's so ambitious it feels destined to have its fair share of bugs, but it should be fun to check out nonetheless. After that, on the 9th, we get Absolum. Absolum is a stylish roguelite beat-em-up, a pretty unique premise set in one of the best-looking hand-drawn worlds I've seen. I played the demo for this one, and I think one of the main draws here is the ability to play co-op in this roguelite-style game. Other than that, it's pretty standard fare, both as a beat-em-up and as a roguelite, as you scroll left and right, punching enemies in the face and hitting them with abilities, and then collecting new abilities as you exit rooms to power up your character until dying and resetting. There's meta progression, there's punching, and there's a whole lot of fun to be had in Absolum. Then, on that same day, is Dreams of Another, which you may say is going to be a bit of a sleeper hit. Its premise is pretty standard. You're a man walking around in his dream holding an AR-15 and shooting it to create thoughtful constructions of your mental machinations. You know, normal stuff. This game is definitely an experimental art piece that seeks to give a commentary on violence, on destruction, and on dreams themselves. The gameplay looks interesting, the world looks gorgeous, and I have no idea what's going on, but I do look forward to hearing more about it when the game comes out. Next up is Ball X Pit, or just Ball Pit if you don't feel like doing the math. Ball X Pit is a wild mashup of Vampire Survivors, Breakout, and even a dash of Enter the Gungeon. At its core, it's a run-based roguelite where you blast through Breakout-style blocks to push forward through levels. But like any good roguelite, things escalate fast. Within minutes, you'll be firing off absurd barrages of projectiles, stacking power-ups, and watching the screen melt into pure chaos. Its demo during Steam Next Fest already built a strong following, and it looks like the kind of game that could quietly eat away dozens of hours if you're playing into that addictive loop. Then Dispatch drops on the 22nd, a narrative-driven superhero game that takes a very different approach to the genre. Instead of non-stop action, it zooms in on the day-to-day lives of its heroes, fleshing out their backstories and world through dialogue and relationships. With big-name talent like Aaron Paul lending their voices, the performances should really sell the drama. Your main objective in this game is just picking the right things to say in social situations. I'm screwed. Add in a bold comic book art style and a cast of quirky, funny characters, and Dispatch looks like it could be one of October's most unique stories. Then the day after that, we get Moonlighter 2, the sequel to, get this, Garfield Kart. Wait, no, that can't be right. Moonlighter 2 sees you shopkeeping by day and dungeon crawling by night in order to fill your shop with a bunch of goodies. It seeks to improve on the first game in every manner, with updated visuals, more diverse and exciting dungeons full of new and unique enemies, and more shopkeeping aspects to make the loop feel well-rounded. And most importantly, the game takes a full swap to 3D assets from its previous top-down 2D visual aesthetic, moving to the isometric viewpoint as so many in the genre have. This makes the experience look way better as the warmth of lighting can be felt in each shot. Regardless, the first game was excellent, and I'm really excited to jump into this early access period on the 23rd. Also arriving on the 23rd is the Lonesome Guild, an ARPG with a super charming team-based battling system. You'll sit around the campfire with your companions, head out on quests together, and rekindle your bonds to grow stronger in battle. The world itself looks colorful and inviting, the story promises plenty of heart, and the combat has that satisfying mix of strategy and action that could easily hook fans of the genre. It feels like the kind of game that balances cozy vibes with engaging gameplay, plus there's already a demo available, perfect if you want to test the waters before committing to the full adventure later this month. Then finally, on Halloween, we get Mina the Hollower, the next big project from Shovel Knight developer Yacht Club Games. This one takes the retro style to a new perspective, swapping side-scrolling for a top-down adventure while still keeping that trademark precision platforming the studio is known for. A lot of what made Shovel Knight so beloved carries over here: retro-inspired music, striking 8-bit visuals, and tight responsive controls. Mina isn't just a throwback, it looks like a clever evolution of Yacht Club's formula, the kind of game that could also make you nostalgic and impressed at the same time. And hey, releasing on Halloween is fitting, as this game might haunt your free time for the next few months. So those were the indie games set for release this October. I hope I could put some new stuff on your radar, some underrated gems, or some exciting titles that are a bit more popular. There's a lot to look forward to in October, so good luck out there, gamer, and I'll see you next month.